If I could go back and start my fitness journey all over again, I would do a lot of things differently. I spent the first 6 months to a year making mistakes which definitely slowed down my own progress. If you're just getting started with your fitness journey, or perhaps you've been lifting a while and you're not quite seeing the progress that you want to be seeing, then make sure you watch this video because I'm going to uncover the 6 biggest mistakes that I made which slowed down my progress and exactly what to do instead. Mistake number 1, and I think this is such a common mistake, and that is chasing the pump and not actually tracking my progress. So when I first started training, I would literally smash chest and arms like 3 times a week just to get that feeling of a pump. And every time I walk out of the gym, I'd be like, yes, bang on, I'm pumped up. I've absolutely smashed it. But the truth is, I actually had no clue what I actually lifted the week before. I wasn't tracking my sets, my reps, or the weights that I was lifting. So yes, I might have been getting a pump, but I wasn't actually improving. If anything, I was kind of just going through the motions. So what would I do instead? I would actually track my lifts. The moment I actually started tracking my lifts seriously and actually trying to improve my numbers every single week, that is when my physique really leveled up. I know so many people who just go into the gym and train whatever and then wonder why they're not making progress. And they think, oh, I don't actually need to track workouts. I kind of know what I hit the week before. No, you didn't, all right? Track your lifts. It's gonna accelerate your progress. Going into the gym and kind of just winging it is pointless. It's gonna get you to a certain point, especially if you're a newbie, but then after that, you're just gonna plateau. And point number 1 kind of brings me on to my next point, and that is changing up the exercises every single week. So I used to switch from workout split to workout split. One week I'd kind of do the bro split, you know, back and biceps, chest and triceps, legs. The next week I'd go push, pull, legs, and then I might combine it with an Arnold split. And I wouldn't be tracking anything, I'd just be kind of mixing up the splits and mixing up the exercises. I thought that by incorporating variety, I wouldn't get bored, and therefore I'd kind of, you know, shock the muscle. I'm sure you've all heard that one before. When in reality, progress with your physique will come from consistency and mastering the basics and getting stronger at the basics over time. And that's essentially what I do now. I have my compound lifts, which I've mastered, and the goal is just to get stronger and stronger at these over time. Yes, you do need to switch up your training program every now and then. Fucking flies.
Ooh, you're hard, showing off.
Yes, you do need to change up your training program every now and then to add that variety, right? Because you will get bored, but at least run the training program for, you know, 6 to 12 weeks before you even think about changing it up. So you can actually compare what you were lifting the week before. And that brings me on to my previous point. If you are switching up exercises every single week, then you're gonna have no idea how to implement progressive overload, as even if you're tracking numbers, you're gonna be doing different exercises every single week. So to clarify, first 2 points. Point number 1, make sure that you are not just chasing the pump and you are actively tracking your lifts and you're implementing progressive overload. Point number 2, stop changing up your exercises every single week. Stick to a training program for at least 6 weeks so you can implement progressive overload. Now, mistake number 3 that I made is again another big one I see, and that was dirty bulking to try and put on as much size as I could, right? I was super skinny, I was insecure. I get about in, you know, oversized fits. I mean, I still do that now, but super oversized fits, okay? I wouldn't want my arms to be showing because they were so skinny, and I wanted to do anything to put on size quickly. You know, I was having 2 bowls of cereal for breakfast, 2 slices of toast with peanut butter, and then I get home from training and I go back to my room at university and I have like 2 tuna mayo wraps, a protein yogurt, a banana, something else, and then my dinner would just be masses of carbs and protein, which is okay to an extent because yes, you need to make sure that you're eating in a calorie surplus, but it needs to be a controlled calorie surplus, and my calorie surplus was certainly not that. And that essentially resulted in me, yes, putting on muscle, but I put a hell of a lot of body fat to the point where walking up a set of stairs felt like I was climbing fucking Everest. If you are skinny and you want to put on size, make sure you are in a controlled calorie surplus. Do not go down the dirty bulking route because it will make stripping back that fat that you put on a lot more difficult. If you go down a route whereby you are controlling your calorie surplus, you will manage to keep your body fat a little lower. Yes, a little bit of additional body fat is normal, but we want to try and limit as much as we can, so then when we're happy with the size, we can strip it back easier and then look awesome when you take your top off. You don't want to be taking your top off, you know, feeling heavy, feeling bulky. I'll never forget when I went to Cyprus a few years back with the boys. I'd actually gone through another gaining phase. Before then, I'd done my first ever cut. It was pretty successful. And then I stupidly went into another dirty bulking phase. And cut a long story short, I was on that holiday. I was actually a coach at the time. I felt lethargic, I felt fat, and I felt like all the boys were looking at me thinking like, this guy's meant to be a PT, why is he not in better shape? So instead of dirty bulking, take your maintenance calories, add around 200 to 300 calories, and when your weight plateaus, bump the calories up again, 200 to 300 calories until you're at a size that you're happy with. This way you'll keep your body fat down to a minimum and you'll still be able to build sufficient muscle mass. Right, so swiftly moving on to mistake number 4, and that was wasting money on supplements I didn't fucking need. I'll never forget one of the biggest BS supplements that I bought was an OxyShred Fat Burner. Now, got nothing against OxyShred. They are a fantastic brand. I've had some of their supplements other than the fat burners, but fat burners in general, in my opinion, are bullshit. And I remember having that and I was shitting myself every few hours. Like that shit went straight through me, pardon the pun. And you know, BCAAs, which can be good, but do you need them? Not really, okay. What else did I spend money on? Pointless vitamins, I didn't really know what they did. Basically, when it comes to building muscle, what you want to prioritize is protein, you know, supplement-wise, what you want to prioritize is protein powder, whey protein powder, and creatine, right? You don't really need anything else initially, all right? Yes, you can supplement some vitamin D, yes, you can supplement some omega-3 and things like that. Of course you can, some multivitamins to help with your overall health, but when it comes from a pure muscle building standpoint, if you are coming at this video from a position whereby you're a little skinny and you want to build muscle, whey protein and creatine, that's all you need. If you're watching this video currently, you've got a little bit too much body fat, then supplement-wise, do not fucking touch the fat burners. Just pop yourself into a calorie deficit and stay consistent. But this was a mistake that a lot of gym newbies fall into. They're like, what supplement can I get to essentially accelerate my progress? Because I've spoken about this a lot on my Instagram recently. That delayed gratification doesn't seem to be a thing nowadays. Everyone just wants a quick fix. So everyone's looking for that magic supplement. I'll be honest with you, there is no magic supplement, all right? What you need is hard work and consistency. So now the basics first, all right? Now your training, now your nutrition, now your sleep, now your habits. And then you can think, okay, how can I supplement my journey by adding some things in? If you're just starting out or you're someone who wants to make better progress, all right, don't go straight to what supplements can I buy. Think about nailing the basics and then look to supplements, okay, to supplement your journey. They're not going to make your journey, they're going to supplement your journey. So coming back to the point, what would I do now if I was going back in time? I would, now the basics, I would buy some whey protein and creatine and maybe a bit of caffeine to help with my workouts, but that's it. Right, so mistake number 5, I believe this is, I can't actually remember, I've lost count, is ego lifting and not prioritizing form, right? We have all been there. If you're a newbie watching this and you haven't started the gym yet, please do not ego lift. All right, focus on your form. Form is everything, right? Building muscle and getting in awesome shape isn't about how much weight you can move. Yes, you need to make sure that you are progressively overloading the muscle and you are adding stimulus to the muscle to actually make it grow. So yes, you do need to make sure you're challenging yourself. But if you're just lobbing weight around and not actually focusing on the time under tension, the muscle contracting, the range of movement, right? You are cutting your gains short massively. So focus on your form and prioritize form over everything. I'm in the gym frequently and I see so many guys and girls ego lifting. They're lifting with their ego, they're lifting with no real technique, and they're thinking they're making hella progress. You are better off stripping back the weight and getting full range of motion, great time under tension, than you are lifting super heavy and getting none of that. So focus on your form and drop the ego. I've been guilty of ego lifting and, you know, just throwing a weight around in the past. I remember I went for a phase when I was sort of at my heaviest. I'd just lump on 100 kilos on the barbell every single week and I would just see how many reps I can get out. And yes, the range of motion was good, but was the tempo great? Not really. I was really throwing that weight around. It got to the point where I gave myself a shoulder injury. It was called, what was it called? Acromioclavicular osteolysis. That's what it was called. And essentially what it is, you've got your acromioclavicular joint on your shoulder here. Acromioclavicular, I can't speak English today. And cut a long story short, it is microfractures on the bone from overuse and poor form. When I started prioritizing range of movement, time under tension, actually thinking about what muscles I was working, my gains skyrocketed. So please drop the ego and focus on your form. Swiftly moving on to my final point of the video, and something that I did initially when I started my journey was I neglected sleep and recovery. Now the sleep side of things, I was at university, so I was going out a fair bit. My recovery was kind of shot to bits because I was going out, I was drinking, I wasn't sleeping well, and therefore I wasn't recovering well. So make sure that you're actually prioritizing your sleep, right? At least 7 hours of sleep per night. Unless you are a university student and you're watching this, you should not be getting less than 7 hours of sleep per night. If you're staying up to watch that extra episode of Netflix or whatever, fucking grow up and go to bed if you want results, right? Sleep is imperative, not only for results, but also for your overall health. So many people neglect sleep nowadays. And then with regards to recovery, don't overtrain. I've done it so many times, and to be fair, I'm still guilty of it now. Not because I feel like I have to go to the gym, but because I actually fucking love training. I don't rest as much as I should. So take it from someone who's had overuse injuries. Take it from someone who hasn't prioritized their sleep. If you want to make your gains quicker, if you want to make progress quicker in the gym, prioritize sleep and recovery. It is so important, and it is so heavily neglected when people are looking to achieve a certain fitness goal. Anyway, that is it for today's video. That got quite ranty in the end, didn't it? I think because I know the mistakes that I made, I know I'm really happy with my physique, right? But I know I could be further along the line if I didn't make these mistakes starting out. So what I want from you, if you are watching this video, is to avoid these 6 mistakes, because it will no doubt help you with your progress. We all make mistakes. If you're watching this right now and you're thinking, oh, that's a bit of me, that I do that currently, fine, so be it. Go and correct it, right? Because that way you can make more progress, more gains, and feel even better about the progress that you're making. Anyway, if you did enjoy this video and you do like a no bullshit approach to health and fitness, then make sure you drop the video a like and subscribe if you're new around here. My goal is to post 2 to 3 times a week indefinitely, right? So I'm gonna be posting out content very frequently, and I'm gonna be trying hard to put out the best quality content for you guys to both educate you and entertain you. So subscribe, like the video, and I will see you in the next one.